make sure you get a form in. I may not be able to protect you on that if you don't get one in. So it was a battle in the other case.
Is it Kishner?
Oh, yeah. Okay, for those of you on the phone, and on the Zoom, Will Kemp routed a proposed agenda, and I had my own agenda from what was left over the last hearing. They're actually pretty duplicative. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through mine with notes on some of the stuff he added this morning. I don't think there's anything new that we haven't covered before, but so if there's anything, those of you that are participating think I've missed at the end, just let me know and we'll tack it on when we get through going through my list and anything of Will's that I may have missed. The one I guess we ought to cover last is that testing protocol. I didn't do a briefing schedule on that, did I?
I don't think there was a formal schedule. We served our brief on Friday.
Yeah, I saw it.
Obviously, not enough time to address it at this one, but I figured before the next special master hearing, there'd be enough time to complete the briefing and we can address the issue itself at the next special master.
Okay, folks, on Friday at 4:28, in the coordinated cases, the plaintiffs filed plaintiff's brief regarding testing protocol. So you might want to take a look at that before the next hearing. I haven't read it yet, and so at the end of this meeting, we'll figure out when the next meeting is, and I'll tell you when I'd like to see your responses. The next meeting will be, you guys want this in 2 weeks or a month or what?
Probably 2 weeks.
So the meeting will probably be in about 2 weeks. And so you'll probably have at least 10 days to do your responses, but I'll kick something out on that today. And then, let me just go through, like I said, I've got 3 lists here, but they're all really duplicative, just in different orders. What is the status of the non-destructive testing on the tubes, if anything?
So also on Friday, we served notice of the testing. We have it all set up. The notice date is October 5th. It's given that it's non-destructive, we don't think that there's any issue, even if we don't have the formal testing protocol entered before then. It essentially tracks what we've agreed to in the testing protocol anyways. It'll be done at the storage location, so it's no evidence is being taken off site. Be about 4 hours. Anyone can attend. Do whatever they want.
Did you say the notice did go out?
Notice went out. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I saw it. Did that go out Friday?
Friday.
Okay. Yeah, I probably got it. I don't.
And we're agreeing to give everybody the results, which was one of contentions on the other test.
Right. Okay. So let's see. What about? And I think this was resolved, but I'm not sure. The deposition of Shani Castillo in the real water document production.
Yeah, that's still sad, but I don't think we have real water documents yet.
So on the 2 batches of documents, first batch from Henderson, we are nearing completion of review, or more accurately indexing those documents, and hope to have them deposited in 2 weeks. That has been fairly slow going. We have 185 boxes from Mesa, Arizona. I just talked to John Colt. He is scanning those on a weekly basis. And he's going to give me an estimate time, because he initially told me 10 boxes a week. Too long, obviously, because that'd be 18 weeks.
Do you think we'll get all the Hendersons in 2 weeks?
I think we'll get all the Hendersons. We're very close to the end.
Okay. And 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from Friday.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks from today is realistic for the Henderson documents.
So by 9/26.
And I'll let you know if there's a problem, but we are, 75% of the way through, something like that.
Yeah, well, I might want to kick Ms. Castillo's deposition 3 weeks, something like that.
She's local though, right?
Yeah, she lives here in Las Vegas. I have not spoken to her.
How are you setting that? Just by subpoena, or are you contacting her and
No,
talking to
subpoenaed
her? You're not
I
clearing
think we
date?
talked to her once, like months ago, so I don't know if we talked to her yet.
Because if we reschedule a couple times, we have no idea. She's not going to know when to show up, what day. You know, might confuse her. So if you
Why don't I
reschedule
have
it,
someone call her and get a date, like somewhere between October 10th and 20th, see what she,
well, I hate to do that. She may say no. Is she working? Does anybody
I'll
know?
work with you guys on a date.
Okay.
It's fine.
I just don't want her confused, gets 3 subpoenas, doesn't know what to do.
right,
Shows up on all of them.
right.
So, yeah, if you and Joel can work together, I mean, if your office needs to talk, she's not an employee anymore.
She's not an employee and I haven't had contact with her.
Well, I like to avoid any contact, even with a former employee, but if either you can help Will schedule it, or if he has to schedule it, they're limited to talk to her about scheduling,
Yeah, that's fine.
because she
I
was,
think she's got 2 or 3 school-age kids too, so that's another potential issue.
and so where are you doing it, at your office? Well, Randall can watch them.
I'm all for that.
I'll put it in the order.
If you want to, I'm fine with that.
Anyway, yeah, anyway, you two.
Non-delegable assignment too.
Yeah. You know, my wife was born and raised here. And you should have seen her reaction when they sold Bonnie Springs. And then they interviewed Randall. She goes, he's a local.
Yeah.
I said, they weren't going to pay for it.
I remember that.
I don't know how they got away with it. You know, that was a stagecoach station.
Still out there long.
That was a stagecoach station back in the day?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
was it way up there? Just because of the water?
Well, there wasn't anything here, really,
Mm.
you know, till 1905. Yeah. Anyway, all right, we'll work together scheduling the date. I don't want her confused.
All right.
And if Joel can clear it, fine. If not, your office is welcome to talk to her, but just try to, limit it only to scheduling.
Yeah, like I've said a couple times before, I don't expect her to move that much, but might as well take one pass through the documents before we vote.
Okay.
You sound like my arguments now.
It's just dragged out so long.
And I have this several different places under several different topics. Does anybody want to report to me on the status of the plaintiff's productions? I see fact sheets are coming in. I get various different notices. Is anybody kind of monitoring where we are on all that?
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
I took a look too.
So we have 32 completed and produced. I believe we have 3 more that are completed. We're just waiting to receive them back signed. We're continuing to work on all the rest. It's a cumbersome process and we're moving through as fast as we can. But I think in terms of the authorizations, there's a fewer amount of authorizations that have been signed. Just because, especially I think the authorizations related to the FDA documents or CDC documents, because those were provided after we had completed a bunch of the fact sheets. So now we're getting those signed at the same time we get the fact sheet signed with the medical authorizations and releases. But I think there's a little lag. We have to go back and get some of those authorizations signed by people who had already come in, and they have to be notarized. So that's creates an additional burden that just slows things down. So
how many individuals are there? Know of as of now?
All the cases?
Yeah.
we're somewhere around 60. I think
How many? 6?
low 60s. Some of them were named plaintiffs and their family members, but they don't really have much of a claim.
Do we have any idea how many are minors?
Right now,
25 and 10.
Is that all? 5 and 10, you think?
I don't think it's 5 yet, but it will be 5.
Okay.
I think we have 3 I can think of.
No, that's close enough. They're about 5. I was just curious. All right, so I guess what we'll do, we'll have another hearing in about 2 weeks, and once again, that's what we need to wrap up. Fact sheet. Is that, I don't know how you pronounce it, Hunwardson, is that the only one that is a death case?
Well, that's not even a death case. That's a liver transfer case.
Isn't one of them death?
Yeah, that's
Ryerson,
Ryerson.
in the Gallagher complaint.
Oh, what's the name of which one is it?
Richard Ryerson.
That's,
Kathleen Mustaine.
yeah.
Richard Ryerson is the representative.
And who's the decedent? Kathleen who?
Kathy Ryerson.
Oh. Oh, I had that.
And
I
that's in the
thought that Hunwardson was a death, but it's not.
No, that's the liver transfer case, but that's the one in front of Judge Kishner, which he's on us already.
Who's on you on that?
Judge Kishner.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
I don't want to have on me.
Yeah, I know.
Judge Kishner.
You should act as special master for on those loan priority home or homeowner association foreclosure priority cases.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well, we have Judge
2,500 of them.
Ugh.
Yeah, she's on the marijuana cases with us, and she's pretty demanding in what she wants and doesn't want. So I'm taking this request from her seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me keep going through here. Computation of damages, including lost wages and other losses. Is anyone filing those? Because I will warn you plaintiffs this. I don't know if you were aware, the legislature passed a law, sure after some strange lobbying, where the liens of a homeowner association had priority over the bank mortgages, the deeds of trust. And you say, oh, no, I went to law school, and the deeds of trust come first, they attach. No, well, not in Nevada. So there were 2,500 foreclosures. I was special master, we're doing scheduling and everything. And right in the middle of that, somebody filed a motion to dismiss like 2/3 of them because they hadn't filed their computation of damages. And I mean, I had to basically lay down and beg her to let me do the scheduling, and that superseded that. So on your computation of damages, we need to get those in. I mean, that was millions and millions and millions of dollars, and she was going to dismiss it. So you need to get your computation of damages in. So anyway, that was something I did want to warn you about, particularly with this court. And do we have any? Has anybody filed theirs?
Yeah,
I've seen some.
we've included computations of damages in all our disclosures. They have all the medical bills that we have in our possession and know of. As we're meeting with plaintiffs in the fact sheet, we're determining their amounts of any wage loss claims. There are very few that have wage loss claims that are worth pursuing. So the ones that we're including in the fact sheet, we're providing employment releases, and we're updating the computation of damages with respect to those.
No, but I think those of you who are representing claimants or plaintiffs, make sure you get a form in, even if you're going to amend it later. Make sure you get a form in. I may not be able to protect you on that if you don't get one in. So it was a battle in the other case.
Is it Kishner?
Oh, yeah.
She's very demanding.
Oh, what about and I did not remember this, the proofs of purchase and other documents, are people depositing those if they have them? I mean, if they bought
Yeah.
water, are they?
Here we have it.
We've been collecting proof of purchase documents from any of our plaintiffs who have it. If we'd already previously collected it, it's been deposited. If we hadn't, we are following up and asking that as part of the process of filling out the fact sheets, which asks questions on that and requires attachment of any proof of purchase document. So anything that's already in our possession for each plaintiff has been produced. Anything that hasn't been produced for each plaintiff, we're asking for it and trying to produce it as part of the fact sheet.
So all of you Zooming in today, if you do represent claimants, I can imagine it's probably, some of these are going to be kind of tough to back up, but you need to really do a good faith determination and a due diligence on locating proofs of purchase of the product. Newly filed cases requiring coordination, and my notes are older than what Mr. Kemp sent today, but I had the McGovern case, and I think it's WEI case were being added. What, does anybody know, Joel, do you know what the status is of that?
Yes.
Adding new
So
coordinator?
the way case, they just sent around the coordination order and I approved it. I think there's some parties that still approve it, but it came around today.
And then McGovern? I have the case numbers if anybody needs them.
I'm sure we have appeared in govern, yeah, that could be one.
Do you know of any other ones floating around out there that we need to bring in? If we're down to two, that's pretty good. And actually, maybe only one.
Yeah, there's a couple others. Let me pull up the list. There's some cases that have plaintiff attorneys other than Kemp Jones that are coming into coordination. Those are,
Is anyone, who's here from the Eglet firm?
that's the King case.
That's Lisa King. I am Floyd, Danielle Miller.
Oh, good. Yeah, I didn't know who was on the phone. I was afraid we were missing some people. Who is Hun Wardson? I'm not sure I pronounced that correct. Is that your client?
That's our client.
Oh, that's your client.
That's Kemp's client.
Yeah. Who does Eglet represent?
Lisa King, only Lisa
Just-
King.
Only Lisa? Okay. Well,
Only
I saw.
Lisa.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's been coming in on that case lately.
Yeah, we've been producing quite a bit, so.
Yeah, I noticed that. Okay, so Joel, I guess you'll kind
Yeah,
of,
there's about 3 other cases that we expect to join the coordination. Adar Burla is one of them, a case before Judge Hale. It's with the Cottle firm.
Urla, URL.
Yeah, Burla.
Oh, Burla.
ADAR-BURLA.
Did that one go to bankruptcy and it's back now? So, okay. It's a quicker process now, huh?
Yeah, everybody's copying your work.
Great.
And sometimes leaving Eric on it.
Yeah, so Robert Cottle has that case? Is it BURLA, you said?
Yeah,
And Cottle has that? Do you know
Correct.
what judge is it in front
it's in
of?
front of Judge Alf, and we've agreed to coordinate that case.
Okay.
Why are the defendants still removing them if they're coming back?
I don't know. I didn't know that one.
Who's doing that?
To double check.
Well, did Cottle have another case? I'm not sure he did. He may not have known what was going on over there.
No, but one of the defendants removed it.
Yeah, it got removed and then remanded, so it's back. Prokova with clear counsel, that one's coming over here.
How do you spell that one?
Prokova.
Okay. Who's counsel?
Clear
Clear
counsel.
counsel. It's the name of their firm.
Okay. Clear, CLEAR,
Yep.
Yeah.
counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
As opposed to Battleborn, as opposed to Sagebrush.
Okay.
So Burla and Prokova are in the process, but we haven't got them in yet. Is that what you're,
Yeah, they should be here, I would think by the next special master here.
okay?
And there is one other claimant out of Texas who is going to contact Eric,
Okay.
probably ask to join.
All right, so
case is it?
Wade, we think is done. McGovern is kind of in the process. Is that what you said?
Texas contacted me, and,
Was that the old guy?
yeah.
Yeah, I talked to the,
Yeah, we talked.
who's McGovern counsel?
Wes LeMay from Nettles Morris.
Thank you.
No problem. And we'll get documents over to Mr. Odou this week.
Okay. Oh, and I was lost on this one. I wasn't aware of this. On Will's list, he had responses from Hannah.
Yeah, I just put that down because they were due today and we gave a couple extensions and there was death in someone's family.
Yeah, Jason Weaker. I'm still working on those as best I can. I'm going to try to get them out to you today, but if I can, I'll let you know in advance.
Yeah, if you need some more time, because, you know, we're sensitive to that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm leaving that with you two to work out. I just brought it up as a status, so
Yeah.
we're not at a point where I'm going to issue any kind of order or anything else. We'll just discuss it again at the next hearing if you're still working on it.
We'll definitely have everything responded to by the next hearing.
Okay. Well, the next hearing may be in 2 weeks, so
No,
we'll at least report on the status at that time.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll have answers and responses before the next special master hearing.
All right, and the status of the briefing, let's see, we kind of got duplications. We'll cover that. And then I covered the non-destructive testing on titanium tubes.
Right. Yeah, now remember, we're doing this October 5th, so if someone has a suggestion, they need to make it relatively quick, you know?
All right, so the non-destructive testing of the titanium tubes is October 5. You should have already seen the notice. I just don't remember it. But if you want to add something or line up an expert or something, you better start that now. Do you know what they're doing? What kind of testing they're doing?
It's essentially it's called X-ray fluorescence, where they just basically shine fluorescent light in it, and it tells them what type of chemical compounds make up the metal itself. So
It's not magnetic resonance imaging, is it?
no, it's just they call it X-ray fluorescence. I don't
Okay.
know much about it, but I understand it's just like shining a light, and the X-ray fluorescence goes through, and the way it reflects, it can tell them about the elemental components.
Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be a relatively small device, so, you know, in theory, if someone else had an expert, they want to do it, they could do it at the same time. Don't care.
Yeah, if some of you, like you said, that like the magnetic resonance and fluorescence imaging and everything, you're really just bouncing something off of it and getting the reaction. So if one of your experts wants to try to do some testing to verify what's going on, they probably wouldn't once they see the equipment. But if they do, just work with Will's firm on that.
Yeah, and if they want.
Or Eric, or you're kind of in charge of that scheduling. Yeah, let Eric know.
Hey, Jason Wigg for Hannah here. What cases is the notice, are those notices being filed in? For example, the agenda that was referenced earlier today and the notice of testing. I didn't get notice of those things being filed, so I don't know if maybe I'm just not on the service list or
Everything is being filed in Wren, correctly?
Filed or served in Wren.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, so, and the reason I did that is for you and also for me. You don't have to have paralegal or check every single case. No matter what case you're in, you're supposed to file at least a service in Wren, an e-serve in Wren.
Yeah,
So that's really the one that it should have been e-served in Wren.
yeah, that's no problem. I'll just make sure that I'm on the service list in that case, because you're making reference to a number of filings that I haven't seen. And I went back through my emails.
Yeah, they all should be in that one. So if any of you have kind of slipped up on that, it's not a lead case because we're not coordinated, but I've done this in these other cases I've had that are like this, is that I just designate one kind of a lead case, and there is a formal order requiring everyone to, whatever you file or serve in any other case, you have to at least e-serve it in Wren. It's free anyway, you know, the service only is free. So,
Sure.
yeah, so monitor that, and if you didn't see it, get a hold of Eric and let him know because maybe something slipped up on that.
Well, I'll just talk to my paralegal, make sure I'm on the service list. If she can't track it down, that's what I'll do. Thank you.
Yeah, it was served in Wren. If you're not on the service list, just get on it and then reach out to me, and I'll make sure we send you a copy of what was served.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, who do you represent?
Hannah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Bear with me, I'm still going through my 3 lists here. Notice of intent to abandon property. Did we cover that the last time?
We started to talk about it. We still need to get that. I mean, you've approved the one order on that.
So that's still ongoing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it falls on our court to move that forward.
And then we've covered this a couple of times, but it's kind of a little worrisome. Is inspection and preservation of evidence, but that was when we moved everything to the depository, right?
Right.
Okay. And did we get Nevada Beverage's distribution list?
Yeah, I produced that,
Okay, thanks.
and I also produced invoices as well.
Oh, good, good. Real Water's list of raw materials and minerals, identification of vendors, is that still ongoing or where are we on that?
Yeah, that's still ongoing. I don't know that I've seen that.
You what?
I don't know that I've seen that.
But we're assuming the stuff from the Henderson plant's going to have vendors' invoices.
Yeah, it should have all the records there. Right out of the filing cabinet, went straight to the.
So, for those of you on the phone, if you had, or Zooming, if you had trouble hearing, well, they're all on the phone. The Zoom goes through the phone. When Joel gets through depositing all the documents, there should be invoices on that, but I'll just keep that up on the status list for our hearings, and that is what raw materials, minerals were utilized by Real Water and an identification of their vendors.
Do we know how many years that goes back?
I don't, but I've definitely seen invoices. Copy.
Okay.
I just haven't had them to review yet.
Yeah, because, you know, Milwaukee filed their answers. They said that they had documents suggesting that they'd sold 100 different meters to Real Water, which was more than we were thinking, you know, going into it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think we've seized, or warehouse, we have maybe 5 of them, maybe?
Yeah, and there's another 5 to 10 that came out of Mesa,
Okay,
and those are currently with the document recorder at Hollow, and they need to go to the
okay.
evidence locker. And then records from Mesa go back to 2009, 2010, maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
I saw records going way back, even to 98 in some cases.
Does Holo have tangible evidence too?
They do right now. We just need to make arrangements to get it from Hollow to the evidence storage.
Other than the meters, what are they?
Just meters.
Just meters, okay.
This is Elizabeth Lowell from Milwaukee Instruments. I just wanted to note the correspondence that we produced indicates that it's possible that Real Water was reselling the meters to its customers. So, you know, that may be why there are fewer in Real Water's possession.
Yeah, I mean, because it raised the question of, are they missing somewhere that we don't know, you know, so,
What did this is the Milwaukee Instruments, right?
right.
What did they register? What did they detect? What were they used for?
Oh,
Well, they're
That a vendor would want?
They're
I mean-
orb meters is what they're called, oxygen reduction potential. So when they make a batch, they stick it in there, and according to Mr. Aiken's testimony, depending on the reading, they'd add more water or more concentrate. So it's pretty critical meter in the process, obviously.
You know, I graduated from college in 1971 in chemistry. I think I'm a little out of date.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Joel, does the Real Water production include electronically stored documents?
it will. We don't have those. They're with Hollow. They haven't been accessed yet. I just talked to John.
The server?
right before.
But Holo will have the electronic documents on deposit, right, that they can be accessed?
Yes, eventually they will. There's 2 sets of electronic data, so to speak. There's the data from a hard drive that Hollow has, that Hollow received a couple of months ago. And then all of the computers that were taken out of Mesa and all of the devices taken out of Mesa, whether it's a tablet or whatever, those are going to be imaged by Hollow. And if there's any information on there, it'll be produced.
Okay, good.
And the Henderson's just one hard drive, is that what you said?
That was actually the material from the cloud. It was taken off the cloud, it was backed up on a hard drive, and the hard drive's been given to Holo.
Okay. And that's the stuff that's gonna be produced in 10 days, or that's later?
The hard drive, I gotta ask about. I didn't ask about that an hour ago. I'll find out.
Okay.
I think we just covered this. The deadline for rural water production list of
926.
artifacts?
Artifacts.
That was on one of your lists. Mr. Kemp, got that? Yeah. Deadline for rural water to produce list of artifacts and documents provided to FDA.
Oh, the stuff the FDA took.
Yeah.
I think some of that has been produced and the rest of it will be produced.
Wasn't there a list of stuff that was given to the FDA?
There was a handwritten list of stuff given to the
Do we
FDA.
have that now, or don't have?
If you don't have it, I'll make sure you get it. I've seen it. It was
Okay.
to be bait stamped.
Okay.
Would they have taken meters and things like that, the FDA?
Don't have the list in front of me.
That's okay.
So
What about the patch logs? Where do they fit into all this?
In case you couldn't hear, I think you're asking about batch logs.
I believe those have been scanned and are waiting to be produced. I think I've seen those.
Okay. And do you know how far back they go?
I don't.
And we're just talking Henderson batch logs, right?
Yes, I've seen batch logs from Mesa to 185 boxes, and those will be produced all the way back to whenever they start.
So in theory, in the next 10 days, we get the FDA list, the batch logs, and all the Henderson stuff,
Right,
with the exception of the computer hard drive.
hard drive. Well, that should come pretty quick.
And again, for those of you, not that I am harping on this, but I am, on the proof of damages, don't forget you have a hearing in front of Judge Kishner on October 13. You might make sure you've at least got something filed or served by then. October 13. I think I've covered everything on my list. Did I miss anything?
Just as far as Judge Kishner goes, it seemed like in the last hearing we had before her, she would appreciate status reports, at least in some of her cases, from the special master or something.
It'll be the status report on all of them.
She said she was not receiving them. I'm just the messenger.
No, it's just all I'm doing is when you see a report in order, that's, yeah, all right, I'll do a more thorough order, I guess.
Yeah, so
Report in order.
they're being filed in Wren.
Is
Are
this
they being
hearing
filed
just
in?
on the one case, or is it other Judge Kishner cases?
It's all of them. She, at the hearing, she asked basically, this applies to all the cases in front of me. Is it okay if I just issue 1 minute order in relation to this case that covers all of them, and we agreed?
What case does she have?
Rich,
She has
Oh, that
Rick,
RICHT?
yeah.
she has Rick, Hunwardson.
Those are all the active ones, actually.
There's one more of ours. And then I think it's the Vincelette cases in front of her too. I think there's 4.
For what law firm?
That's Mr. Mendez.
Vinceletti's me. That's Tennyson Hate.
King is in front of her.
Do you know what?
She also,
Can you-
yeah, she also has Lisa King, Judge Kishner.
Boy, she's got all the really active ones. Hennessy and Haight, what cases does she have with your firm?
I'm not sure. I can get a list to you.
Okay.
So the other thing with Judge Kishner at the status check, she was requesting
So she has 5 different individual cases. Is that what we think?
I believe 5 different. I know 2 of ours that she has. I thought she had a 3rd one. I could be wrong, but 4 or 5 for sure.
Well, if you folks can catch me up on that, I'm going to do the same report in order in all of them. I'll do it in Wren. For hers, I'll do another extra service in her cases.
She's become business court. Has she become the judge in business court, Kishner?
She is a judge in business court.
Because she's a judge in business court, do these cases stay with her?
Well, somebody moved to,
Didn't
somebody file a motion to bounce them out of business
Someone
court?
did file a motion, but I don't know where they think they're gonna go.
So she's the judge in business court.
Henry and Hunwardson.
courts
Right.
and they're bounced out of business court, would they stay with her or they
Yeah,
go?
they still, I don't think you reassign them.
Wouldn't think,
Just,
Yeah. So I'm, we oppose that.
because she's become
It's-
judge in business court, and these aren't business court cases.
what's the status of that motion to bounce it out of business
Our
court?
ops due tomorrow.
Oh,
So if it's granted,
I mean, anyone file a motion like that hasn't seen these other judges, okay? I don't know why you'd file that motion. I have no idea. But you want to torture yourself.
so, but if it's.
For me.
Hypothetically, if it's granted and bounced out of business court, does it still stay?
well, but business court she has regular cases.
So-
Business court has its own rules.
So they'll stay with.
I don't know what the difference, see, business court, you don't use the discovery commissioner, but
Right.
in these cases, you don't use you use me instead of the discovery
Yeah, I don't know
commissioner.
what.
I'm not sure what the
practical
difference
it would
is gonna
make,
be.
You know, no.
So, I've always thought it was interesting, Bonnie Bullivus did all those years of discovery, and any appeal went to the district courts, and then she leapfrogs over them, and the appeals of the district court go right to her.
Wait, back to Judge Kishner. I mean, if you wanted to, we could find all the cases
I need them.
and do some kind of status report saying these fact sheets have been filed and these, something at least you can, see that we're doing something.
She's the one I know, because remember, she was pushing for trial.
Oh, I'm sure
Right.
she is.
She is.
Yeah, because she was one of the only two judges that were really trying to get the cases tried during the pandemic.
She's pushing.
Despite-
She's just pushing for trials.
What happened to the opioid trial? Is that, or did they settle? Or
Which one?
Opioids?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, they settled that, did they?
Well, I mean, I'm not in the case, so I don't know if one defendant means the whole thing settled or what.
Oh,
So
I'm not
No,
on.
no, it's one defendant, but no, it's still going. It's set for trial next spring.
And that's in front of Judge Kishner too?
It is in
Well-
front of Kishner. Yeah,
Well, isn't Mike Cherry the special master on that? Or is
he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we can prepare something, all the
I
Judge
would
Kishner
really-
cases that says what fact sheets were filed and when, and, so she can see that progress is being made.
Why don't you do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think what she mentioned was there was discussions about the ongoing special master proceedings and the special master orders that have been entered to date. And she said that she hadn't received any of those because I think they're being filed in Wren. I think that applies to all the cases really, which kind of goes back to something that we raised a couple hearings ago about some sort of case management order that either designates Wren as the kind of principal master file.
I did it. It's already done. I did that order.
It's the lead case.
Yeah, I did that order saying that, well, I can't say it's a lead case because they're not consolidated. I just issued an order that everything had to be e-served in Wren. That's not her case then, right?
No, so I think the problem is that, it's a problem for us too, when you have something that applies to all the cases, and you have to file it in every single case, or it applies to two cases and you file it in the case and Wren, when I think the most efficient way to handle it would be to have some sort of master case file.
I thought we did. I see, but you're saying you wouldn't even have filed it in the other cases.
Yeah, where you could file it in one case and say this applies to all the cases and it's deemed filed in all those other cases.
I don't think Judge Kishner's gonna like that.
No, she won't. No, it just, what we have to do is that's why I want to list her. Whatever I serve, I'll serve in her.
So everything that's filed, you file
In the end, you have to file in the end.
in Wren too.
Yeah, let's say you're in the right case, RICHT, I'm not how you pronounce it, and you want to file or serve something in that case, you have to file or serve something in that case, but you do a courtesy filing in Wren,
And the notice of compliance goes
both places.
both cases, so you
Both,
file
yeah.
principal case, file in Wren, and
But no, all you have to do is serve it in Wren, because that's free, okay? You don't have to file it in both of them.
you serve it in Wren,
Yeah, serve it in Wren so people can pick it up.
and you do the notice of compliance in both.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever you do a notice of compliance, you'd probably file that, in the individual case, but make sure you do a service
Into rent.
Okay.
Hey,
this.
Floyd, Jason Wick from Hannah. When do you issue that order, that recommendation?
I didn't carry my file in here. I can dig it out, though. There really hadn't been that many orders.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, back to Judge Kishner. So why don't we come up with something and we'll bring it to the next hearing or the next special master meeting, you know, but I think just a report on the status of Plaintiffs' fact sheets will keep.
We don't have some kind of report we go in front of her.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be nice.
Fourth,
Is that the date you need the report?
I'm pretty sure.
And I think she wants a scheduling order
Yeah,
as well.
that's what she was talking about.
October 13th, sorry.
Yeah, October
Well,
13,
that's
I
why
already
I'm doing a
announced that.
scheduling order with 5 different cases, you know, because I don't know what the status, I mean, I know the status.
Well, I mean, how's close? I have to have a discovery cutoff before we can do that.
Right.
Well, we have a status check in front of her on October 13th on this. If the consensus is it's too early to come up with a discovery cutoff at this point, then I think it would probably be beneficial to her, or she would appreciate if we at least have a status update to say, we discussed it. This is why we really can't come up with the discovery cutoff at this point, and we anticipate having more information to be able to set the discovery cutoff in, 30, 60 days, whatever it is, just to inform her of the efforts and status regarding the issue.
If we don't have that, she's gonna go ahead and move forward.
She'll just set
Based
it.
on what we saw last hearing.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I've been filing, if there's anything, very little of what I've done is in individual cases, but it has been, and we were filing, I think it was in 7 or 9 cases, those original ones plus Wren. But if I get a list of her cases, I'll make sure whatever I do, we serve it in that case too. So she'll rule on the motion to bump it out of business court, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see how she can, you know, because it's got business court claim, pled. I don't know how, you know.
Do you want to take a guess at a discovery cutoff now?
Well, I mean, the issue, I think, is if we're going to bring in more defendants, like, for example.
New cases, we're bringing in more cases.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about the new cases. I'm worried more about
Yeah,
if in the real
Those
water
invoices.
production, in the invoices, we find some, you know, something we need. So then I got to bring in someone new, so I got to amend the complaint again, and I got to start the discovery on them, so,
I think in that report you give to Kishner, you've got to include all of that.
yeah.
She pushed pretty hard last time.
do we have a transcript of that?
Of her hearing? I don't know, do we have a transcript?
We didn't request one. We can.
Probably just as well.
You know, I think the statute of limitations, in theory, won't run until like February, you know, so.
Yeah.
So that's another issue.
Well, and you've got minors.
Right,
I mean, the statute doesn't run until they're 20 years old.
right. But I think we're doing a pretty good job of, because remember, there are the 5 kids that went up to Salt Lake City. So I think, do we have those all identified now? I know we got 4 out of the 5.
Yeah, 4 in front of it.
And then the other minors, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a bunch more minors coming. I know there's one more coming we're talking to, but, you know, there could be more.
So you're going to do a status on your cases, the status of fact sheets.
On the 5 Judge Kishner cases, we'll do all 5,
Yeah.
including King. You know.
Jolyn, do you know what other cases is somebody going to give me a list of those cases?
We'll give you a list, but.
For those of
5
you
is the
helping
right
us
number.
on the Zoom today, do any of you know if your cases are in front of Judge Kishner? Was it 31? What's your department?
31.
Yeah. 31, Department 31.
This is Jim Neale for UNFI. I know that Rick and Wardson are both in front of Judge Kishner, but Eric's already mentioned them. Those are
Yeah.
the 2 we're involved with. So,
To the best of my knowledge, it's Rick, Hunwardson, Henry,
King.
King, Vincelette.
What's the last one? I don't recognize that.
Vincelette, Vincilette. I think. Vincellett. It's A839848.
What is it? 839?
848.
Did we get our amendment in Henry now?
So we got Reich, Hunwardson, Henry, King, and Vincelette. Is that all of them?
To the best of my knowledge.
Yeah.
There's one other case, but it's not before you, Floyd. It's called Dealman, and nobody has been moving that case forward.
I'll probably get blamed for that.
That's the one we'll get in trouble for, because it's
That's in front of
languishing
Judge Kishner too.
in front of Judge Kishner.
What's the name of it?
Dealman, Dielmann.
What's going on with that one? I mean,
They haven't set aside the bankruptcy or done anything.
so it got removed and it's just sitting there in bankruptcy?
Yeah.
So it's really not in front of Judge Kishner, technically.
Well, it actually it never even got removed. It was filed in front of Judge Kishner. It's part of the bankruptcy court. Bankruptcy, excuse me, but never.
All right, for you,
Bankruptcy court.
I'm sorry. For you claimants, counsel for claimants, we'll squeeze in a hearing for October 13. I'm going to put out a order asking you by that hearing to report to me the status of your client's fact sheets. I'm not saying you have to have everything done. I'm not going to do that to you. I want to know what the status is of all of the plaintiff fact sheets at that next hearing, and I'm not sure when I'm going to set it.
We have all the facts on the three
But it'll be
cases.
before October 13. I'll make it as late as I can.
He's not
So, and I
even
mean,
himself,
if it's, I've got 4 clients, 3 of them are done, we're still working on the 4th. That's all I need. I just want something
Okay.
we can report to the court on the fact
Seven
sheets.
plaintiffs in there.
There's 7 plaintiffs in Henry?
All right.
As a minor.
Other than that, which is kind of major, is there anything else we need to cover today?
No, but just to be clear, Floyd, you're going to do a status report to the various courts and let Judge Kishner know where we are, or do we need to draft something? The parties need to draft
I
something.
thought we were going to draft something.
That's what I want to make sure.
Floyd to issue.
Well,
And that's fine. with
that's
me.
what I'm trying to
That's fine.
decide. That's why I was asking if everyone, what I thought I'd do is do a report today to all of them saying that everyone's working on the fact sheets. What did you say you think we have in? How many, what percentage of them? Do you know?
32 out of 57.
Yep.
Whatever.
But it doesn't count the cases that aren't yours.
No, but I mean,
But we're running over 50%,
Right.
right? Okay. And then their fact sheet. So I'll kick out an order today or tomorrow that says that anyone who's representing plaintiffs, please provide me the status of your fact sheets and your medical authorizations at our next hearing.
the first one on Henry's case.
They were brought
No,
in.
they were already sued.
initially.
Okay. got
And
it.
you have how many cases? 37, did you say?
57.
57?
You mean done? We have 32 done out of 57.
Yeah, but, and so there, how many total? 60, so that's over half.
Yeah. And I think, like you already said, Lisa King's got stuff in too. So it's probably just guessing 33, 34 out of 60.
So do you have all but, see, that would mean you have all but what, 4 or 5 of them or 6 of them? Or if you've got 57, there's only 60 something, right? Joel, do you know?
Okay, so I have the numbers here. We have 11 separate cases with 54 plaintiffs in those cases. We've done 32 fact sheets, fully completed and served. We have 3 more that are done. We're just waiting to get them back signed. And then we are at various stages of progress with the remaining.
It's 35, so 19 more.
19.
Okay. But if there's only 60 cases, you've got 54 of them? Maybe 60 something, so they're less than 10 cases that aren't yours?
That are filed. We hear.
Well, I only have to
rumors.
report on the filed ones.
Yeah, I mean, but we hear rumors. And
Let me see, for those of you on the phone, Colt, who do you represent?
Nevada Beverage.
Oh, did natural food settle out?
No.
Who was it? I saw a bunch of stipulations to dismiss. I thought it was,
Some cross claims were
oh,
dismissed.
Key.
Yeah, Floyd, this is Jim Neale for UNFI. We dismissed Key on cross claims, and then Will and Eric dismissed UNFI because
that's the
another.
one. Is that United Food? Yeah, I
Right,
saw
but
those are being dropped out.
That's just clearing up a misnomer. There's another United entity that's the
Oh.
proper one that they've got in all their cases.
Okay. Who do you represent, Neil?
UNFW and Whole
Okay.
Foods.
Yeah, I saw those coming in. Who else in our Zoom there represents actual plaintiffs? Any of you? Stephen, who do you have? You're muted.
Yeah, I have Vince Levy.
Oh, Vince Letty. Okay, well, I have that one covered. So you lucked out and got Department 31?
Yeah.
All right, so give me a status on you. How many plaintiffs do you have? Just one?
I just have the one. Yeah.
What's the status, your fact sheet? We can do it right now. Do you know?
I don't. I believe we've been working on it though.
All right, just report to me at the next hearing. I'll try to
Yeah.
squeeze one before October 13, okay?
We'll have it ready by then.
Who has Henry?
We have Henry.
You have Henry. And do you have Hunwardson?
Yeah.
I thought Eglett has. Yeah. And you have Wright.
Right.
Who has King?
Eglett does.
Oh, Eglett. That was theirs. I don't know why I thought I had them mixed up on another one. Who's here for Tracy's firm? Anybody?
I am Floyd, Danielle.
Oh, you're on
Miller.
the phone. I'm sorry. I'm
Yes,
looking
I'm
at
on
the
Zoom.
Zoom screen. Do you know what you've got King, and I know stuff's been coming in on it quite a bit, actually. Is your fact sheet done?
Yes, it's done. We've signed off on the authorizations that we've received, and we've produced our computation of damages.
All right, so of the 5 with, and Vince Saletti, we don't know, he's checking. I'm sorry, you had Henry, did you say?
Henry we have.
Is the fact sheet done in Henry?
Well, there's 7 plaintiffs in there, so I'm almost positive they're not all done.
Okay. All right.
And Henry was the
It was
later
a
filed.
late filed case.
So we've been trying to do the earlier ones.
Yeah, we were trying to do the early ones first, just to say, like the first 5 or 6 are done.
All right.
This is Ariana Reed on behalf of the carrier plaintiffs. We are still waiting to receive the preferred authorization forms from the Milwaukee instrument defendants. Regarding our plaintiff fact sheets, we're in the process of compiling those. We have submitted our computation of damages with our disclosures, and we will have that report to you by the 13th.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put out some kind of report, hopefully, that I can send to her, but I'll tell her when we're having the next hearing.
Yeah, we're happy to draft something for you with her cases and the numbers.
Yeah, I'd love for it. Love for you to. You can report to me.
Why don't we try to do a shell and shoot it to Joel? And,
Yeah, I had my 2 cents. And
yeah.
And then send it to me and I'll attach it
Right.
to a report?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that would be
Department
helpful.
31 report.
Okay, so we'll be working on that, and I'll have a hearing before the 13th, and I'll file some kind of report today, hopefully to let her know we're really working on this stuff. So if you need anything else, let me know. Otherwise, we'll have another hearing in about 2 weeks.
Hey, Floyd, this is Colt for Nevada Beverage. I wanted to circle back on the testing. You were going to provide some dates, and I was hoping that between you and Mr. Kemp's office, there'd be no objection, since the dispute's only related to work product testing, if we went ahead and noticed destructive testing pursuant to the agreed upon portions of the protocol, get some of this water testing started.
Yeah, I don't have any objection that they do the notice. The only real big issue is whether they get to, if they have to share the results or not. That's really the big issue. So I don't mind if they notice it.
So you want to do water testing, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
On a approved protocol.
Yeah, on the approved protocol. I think if you look at his motion or his briefing, he attaches it, and there's some stricken language. Pursuant to what's not stricken, what everyone agrees upon, we could go ahead and get some amount of water notice to be tested.
All right, you can do that, but I'll warn you, I'm probably going to require everybody to produce their results.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem.
All right, well, what I can do then is I will kick out a separate order saying anyone with approved protocol may do water testing, but they're required to produce the results to all other parties.
Thank you.
Floyd, are you gonna, in your order, tell us the date for the opposition to their motion? We trying to pick a date.
You mean our brief?
Yeah, your brief.
When do you want?
Probably,
Just came in today.
yeah, it came out on
Hey,
Friday.
Katie came in on the 9th, yeah.
You should be joining us. That way these guys are doing all the testing for you.
What'd I do with it?
Probably 2 weeks.
All right, it came in on the 9th. It shouldn't take, I mean, this is just testing protocols, so we shouldn't need too much time. I'd say by next Friday. You gonna need more time than that?
Or the 16th.
16th?
Need a little more time than that.
All right, how about the 21st?
21?
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's 9/21, right?
Yeah. All right, is that it?
That's it for us.
Okay, so Joel, you're going to try to do a status report on the case.
Yeah, we're trying to do a joint one. It'll be one less.
That would be helpful.
Report.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's it. You folks on the Zoom or the phone, do you have anything else?
No.
Ariana,
No.
sorry,
Thank
I
you.
do. Really quickly, since we're on right now, Ms. Lowell, do you know when we can expect your preferred authorization forms?
We are still in the process of doing some of the discovery for plaintiffs. When we finish that, we'll get those forms to you.
Okay, thank you.
Ariana, who do you represent?
The carrier plaintiffs.
Okay. All right, thanks, everyone.